Do you ever feel this whole net zero agenda is not about saving the planet? It's more about draining our wallets. As a car enthusiast, I just can't help wonder if all these green policies really are about saving the environment in which we live, or just another way of squeezing ever more money out of our dwindling wallets. Let's face it, the poorer we are as a nation, the more debt we are in, the more controllable we are. But here's the problem. The UK accounts for less than 1% of global emissions, while countries like China pump out huge amounts of carbon in comparison to us. The US, for instance, the EU, and the UK combined, China beats them all. So, whatever we do, it doesn't make the slightest bit of difference. Even if we went fully electric, totally net zero tomorrow, it just wouldn't even make a dent. And meanwhile, China is building coal-fired power stations like what we used to have when back in the days when energy was cheap. So, are we really saving the planet or just crippling our economy for no real gain? I say no real gain. I mean no real gain to the citizens of this country. I mean, this kind of proves it's just a money making racket. For instance, carbon credits and offsetting. So big corporations can purchase carbon credits so they don't have to cut their emissions. It just looks good on paper. I mean, does that make sense to you? Because the environment is not involved in that at all. It's all about a money transaction and a company looking good on paper. Nothing happening on the environment at all because they're still doing as much pollution as ever. And in the meantime, these companies are probably putting up the prices and making it more expensive for us to buy the products. Electric vehicles and EVs, like I said in all my other videos, they're being or they're trying to force it upon us. But look at look at the ethical concerns around the batteries and how they're mined for the lithium. That's not environmentally friendly either. So that's a farce. Heat pumps in our home, uh, and sort of retrofitting these heat pumps instead of our reliable gas boilers. You know, they're expensive. They're expensive to run. They don't work very well. So who is actually benefiting from us all being forced to install heat pumps? So because we can't have our gas boilers in the future. I mean, they've rolled back a little bit on that now because they're realizing it's not going to work. But okay, so just let's look at a heat pump in a home setting. And I'll give you several reasons why they don't work. Poor insulation. Heat pumps work best in well insulated homes. If a house has poor insulation, heat escapes too quickly in winter, making it hard for the pump to maintain warmth. Well, okay, maybe in new build homes, but if we're going to have to retrofit them into our 1930s semis or even Victorian homes, which aren't as well insulated as a brand new build, then they're not going to be effective, are they? Right, cold climate limitations. I thought we had heating to keep us warm that are actually meant to work in the winter. In a very cold temperatures below -5, air source heat pumps can struggle to extract heat from the outside air, reducing efficiency. I mean, what's the point? You want it to heat your home when it's cold. You don't have your heating on in the summer. Right. Inefficient heat distribution. In homes with traditional small radiators or old heating systems may not distribute the lower temperature heat efficiently. Underfloor heating or large radiators work better with heat pumps. So that means we've got to rip out all our radiators and replace them with new huge unsightly ones for a heat pump to work properly. Is that going to happen? Don't think so. Higher electricity costs. While heat pumps are more efficient, they rely on electricity. If electricity costs are high, running a heat pump can become expensive, especially if the system isn't optimized. So it's just going to cost us more in electric. So, okay. Defrosting issues. In damp, cold conditions, well, we don't have damp, cold conditions in the UK, do we? Heat pumps can ice up, requiring energy-intensive defrost cycles, which reduce overall efficiency. When does our gas boiler ever ice up? They don't. Lack of understanding and maintenance. So, users who don't correctly adjust the settings may find their heat pumps ineffective. Regular maintenance, that's an extra bill, like cleaning filters and checking refrigerant levels, is also essential for a heat pump's efficiency. So let's look at that. Refrigerant levels. So didn't they tell us not so long ago that our fridges were emitting gases that affected the ozone layer? Do you remember that? That's going back a while. I remember that. So all these heat pumps have got a refrigerant in it, some kind of a fridge, basically. Is that right? Or is the refrigerant some kind of a coolant solution? I don't know. I don't know enough about it. Perhaps you can let me know down in the comments. Heat pumps. Brilliant idea. Energy prices keep going up and up and up. I mean, they've already bought in some energy, these companies, and they're just selling it on to us and putting the prices up. So, you know, the energy companies are getting rich off us as well. It's just, it's not fair. It's like everybody's going to reach a breaking point soon. Looking at this from a car lover's perspective, the whole net zero policies are making our lives miserable as car lovers. Higher fuel costs, emission zones, scrappage schemes, ridiculous road tax hikes. Where does all our road tax go? You know, it's supposed to be spent on the road infrastructure, but they're clearly not doing that with the number of potholes everywhere. Look how deep the potholes are. This is just one road of how many hundreds across the UK of potholes. Just a short stretch of road. What is our tax money going on? In my opinion, this whole net zero thing is a scam, because if it's a real emergency, you wouldn't be able to buy credits to carry on as normal. They'll stop you from doing it. If the planet was coming to an end and it was going to hurt humanity, they would say no, you can't buy credits and carry on as normal. They just wouldn't allow it. So it's all a big money making racket. So Let me know what you think down in the comments. I know I've done similar things to this on other videos, but it's a big topic, and more and more people are waking up to this, and we need to talk about it more. So please like and subscribe and help push this video out there. Thanks for watching.